What is up, lads? How's it going? How are you getting on? And welcome back to the channel. A topsy-turvy Game Week 18 has just ended and the Game Week 19 deadline is fast approaching, with it landing at 4 PM tomorrow. Chelsea and Fulham both have double game weeks, so it's time to start planning ahead and see who we can fit into the team. In this video, we'll be looking at my Game Week 18 review along with my transfer plans and team selection for Game Week 19. Let's get into it. The game week started off at Anfield with Núñez and Salah involved for my team. It was another fairly frustrating game week going in Núñez, as there were a lot of attacks in the game where himself and Salah linked up but weren't able to find the target. Thankfully he finally got his attack in return when Fast converted the ball into the net for his second own goal on the night. I won't lie that it was fairly frustrating coming away with only 7 points from Salah and Núñez. Moving on to the early kick-off, things didn't start off great, with Rashford being named on the bench for sleeping in. Martial had a poor enough game and wasn't able to convert a chance just before half time. Rashford came in the second half and managed to get the winner for United and a very important 3 points for the Reds. Unfortunately, he had another goal ruled out late on from an unlucky handball, but I was just glad that he got the return after not starting the game. I'll need to consider now what to do with Martial, with Fulham having a double game week and Mitrovic being very tempting to bring in. Moving on to the Etihad, it was another frustrating week only Cancelo when he didn't make the City starting 11 once more. Erling Haaland continued his fine form with another goal. That was his only return of the game as City were held to a 1-1 draw with Everton. Frustration turned into delight as Cancelo didn't make a late cameo, but was very fortunate to get Bueno 6 points off the bench. The Wolves' 3.9 million defender came off after 60 minutes, so he was able to lock in his clean sheet before Rashford scored for United. Kieran Trippier once again continued his outrageous form this season, picking up all 3 bonus points even after getting a yellow card. Unfortunately, Miggy Almiron couldn't get a return as Leeds held Newcastle to a scoreless draw. Trippier's 8 points makes it his 5th return in a row and he's still only blanked 3 times this season. He's an absolute machine. Saturday's games ended with the hopes of some Martinelli returns and a Ben White clean sheet. I managed to get the Martinelli returns after he picked up a goal and assist for a 10-point haul, but Ben White was subbed off 20 seconds before the 60-minute mark, so very frustratingly he missed out on an extra 5 points. The only consolation was that Brighton scored twice late on, but if White got his clean sheet I would have seen a massive green arrow this week. Our last involvement came on Sunday with Kepa away to Forest. It was another frustrating watch as just after the 60-minute mark Kepa lost his clean sheet. If Forest didn't score, Kepa would have been on for a double-digit haul that would have got me very close to the top 100k. All of these returns led to me scoring 57 points the week and I got a small green arrow and I'm now sitting at 253k overall. Bueno was the man that got me over the line for a green this week, so I've got Pep to thank for not bringing on Cancelo when City were chasing a winner. Looking ahead to Game Week 19, I've got 2 free transfers in the back pocket and with Chelsea and Fulham both having 2 fixtures, their assets will be the focus of my move this week. Let's have a look at what my options are ahead of the Game Week 19 deadline. Mitrovic is my main target this week, so Martial is looking very likely to make way after his poor performance against Wolves. And maybe a small risk as Martial faces Bournemouth at home, but I have a feeling he'll be taken off after 60 to 70 minutes, so I think bringing in Mitrovic is the right call here. It also needs to know that Mitrovic is on 4 yellows, so if he gets a yellow against Leicester, he'll miss the Chelsea game, but I think the risk is worth taking. Núñez has been a frustrating player to own over the last 2 weeks, and with Chelsea Dublin, Havertz could make his way into my team. I was pretty set on this move until I watched the Forest game, so I'll need to decide before the deadline if Havertz makes his way into my team or not. Another use of my transfer will be bringing in Luke Shaw for his favourable fixture against Bournemouth. Shaw has been a bonus magnet the last 2 games, so it's been pretty disappointing not having him in my team. The only downside is United play City and Arsenal over the next 2 weeks, so I may just save my second transfer this week. There's also the bonus of waiting for more news regarding double game weeks once the FA Cup games are over, so this may be the sensible play, and having 2 free transfers to plan for the doubles will be very useful. FPL Salah has once again provided us with the clean sheet odds for this game week. United, City and Liverpool are the front runners for the chance for clean sheet, and looking at this info it makes me second guess the Havertz move as City ranks second out of all the teams for the chance of a clean sheet. I'll be relying on Cancelo making his way back into the City lineup for the chance of a clean sheet here. It's also not great news for Trippier and Kepa owners like myself, as Newcastle and Chelsea rank very close to the bottom for the chance of a clean sheet this week. With the Game Week 19 deadline tomorrow, here's some tips to take note of before locking in your team. Don't chase the Chelsea double game weekers, they're definitely not worth a hit. Try to save a free transfer for Game Week 20 when we'll hopefully have more information about teams who are meant to double. Martial to Mitrovic advised, with Mitrovic doubling this week. Don't bench Trippier, there's every chance he can get an attack return against Arsenal this week. The obvious decision is to play Andreas over Almiron. Don't get rid of Núñez, especially for a hit, he definitely has a big haul incoming. Target United, Liverpool, Mitrovic and Andreas. I may regret saying this, but this could be the week to go against Haaland captain. And don't forget, the deadline is at 4 PM tomorrow. Here's how I'm currently lining up, with Martial looking very likely to make way for Mitrovic. This leaves my lineup as follows: Kepa in goals, Ben White, Trippier and Cancelo in defence, Salah, Andreas, Martinelli and Rashford in midfield, and Haaland, Mitrovic and Núñez up top. This leaves me with 3 double game week players, but I'm happy enough with that as the Chelsea attackers aren't very appealing. Looking at captaincy, I'm currently leaning towards Mitrovic over Haaland this week. Keep in mind, this could be a small bit risky as Mitrovic will miss the Chelsea game if he gets a yellow against Leicester. I still think the Leicester game is a solid captaincy choice, but I'll be hoping he doesn't get the yellow for a minimum 8-point return from the airband over the 2 games. I'm currently not locked into my team, so don't forget to follow me at FPL Era on Twitter and Instagram, where I'll post my locked in team before the deadline. If you've made it to the end of the video, please hit that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you on the deadline stream tomorrow, just before 3 PM. There you have it, there's my Gameweek 19 team. Best of luck for Gameweek 19, I'll see you in the next video.